Deathwatch.
Hello and welcome to Deathwatch Productions. This is Justin. I'm going to be your game master today for a one-shot Call of Cthulhu game called Seeker of the Depths. Before we get into it, we'll introduce the players and their characters. We'll start with Brandon.
I'm Brandon. I'm playing Arthur Johansson, a river guide who's lived in the wild most of my life, just guiding people along the Colorado River, and we'll be helping to investigate some mystery in the Grand Canyon.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Dr. Eugene Tarnahan. Is that close enough for you there? All right. A doctor who has recently come under some mental trauma and had to take a sabbatical from work, taking a vacation due to a train wreck that caused him to lose a bunch of patients.
Hi, I'm Travis. I'll be playing James Higgins. I come from some money, so I've been able to afford to indulge my interest in the occult or old stories, so that's what I'm currently doing.
I'm Josiah. I'm William Sterling, a devout archaeologist, always digging through the past because those who don't remember the past, destined to repeat it.
And John?
I'm John playing Harold Jacobson. He's another outdoorsman. He's currently taking jobs with Arthur Johansson. Was rescued by an Indian tribe when I was young. My family had died of scarlet fever.
Thank you, John. So today's adventure is going to be based on a little bit of urban legend from the 1900s. There was an article in the Arizona Gazette where there was an interview with a scholar by the name of G.E. Kincaid, who claimed that he had found Egyptian hieroglyphics and artifacts in the Grand Canyon. He claimed that he had been sent by the Smithsonian and that he had sent artifacts back to the East to be verified. But, as the legend goes, it was considered a fake story, and the Smithsonian has disavowed all knowledge of G.E. Kincaid or the expedition that he had undergone. In the game, we are picking up 10 years later after G.E. Kincaid has refused to acknowledge that it was a false story and has managed to convince the Smithsonian to send experts to help him verify officially all of the things that he had claimed. Now, James Higgins and William Sterling were sent as archaeologists to help him verify and translate anything that he may have found, while Arthur Johansson and Harold Jacobson are river guides that are going to be helping them find their way through the Grand Canyon, and Dr. Eugene McTarnahan is there to try and make sure nobody dies. So we're going to pick up at the entrance where they're putting into the Grand Canyon, and G.E. Kincaid is speaking to the group, and so he's laying out the plan. He says, "We expect that this will take 3 months of expedition. We will be thoroughly combing certain areas of the Grand Canyon, and with all luck, I will prove my theories are correct and get the acknowledgement from the Smithsonian that I deserve." I had managed to sneak back to the original location, but had found that the tunnel that I had followed down into the ancient structure had collapsed. But given its location and how far we had gone underground, I believe that there may be other entrances to this Egyptian temple. So we are going to be starting at the head of the Grand Canyon and heading down into the first area just on the other side of Bright Angel River. We will be searching up in this area on the eastern side of the Grand Canyon. Then we will continue down river as we explore. We will have 4 different resupplies, eventually passing by the original temple that I had found and continuing past it until our last expected search area will be about halfway through the Grand Canyon, near the Powell Plateau. So, I understand, Mr. William Sterling, that the Smithsonian has sent you because I did not manage to document all of my findings in the manner they had originally anticipated for verification. And with your help, I fully expect that we will vindicate me and that this will be one of the greatest scientific finds in American history. So, does anyone have any questions about what we are after or our plans?
Well, Mr. Kincaid, failing to document is a very generous description of your previous expedition.
Well, when you're out exploring, I had not anticipated to come across a find such as this, so I did the best I could with what I had at my disposal. I had taken several artifacts, but apparently some nefarious knave had stolen them on their route to D.C., and I had my intentions to come back with a full scientific team thwarted by the Smithsonian because they refused to send the team that I needed when I had it. And because of their late timing, the cave collapsed and I lost all of the known areas that I could find it.
And were these artifacts out of your possession? What's the story?
Of course
how
they were out of my possession. I had packed them up in crates and I had sent them on a train that I had been guaranteed that they would be safe along their route.
And the train was robbed?
The train entered Boston and my crate had been taken. It was no longer on the train.
Interesting.
Well, I'd say I'm quite ready to go.
Well,
All right.
I'm a simple man and an honest one, and known as a straight shooter that'll always deal fair. So I have to say, I don't actually know what an Egyptian artifact looks like.
Well, I guarantee you that when we find the temple that I had found previously, that you will be in awe of the things that we come across.
All right.
And they will be apparent.
Okay. Well, I just don't want to see it, not realize it's important, not point it out to anybody.
That is why Mr. Sterling and Mr. Higgins will be joining us, and they will be able to verify anything. If you see anything, speak to them and they will verify its authenticity.
A question for our guides. Is there much native traffic in the Grand Canyon in these times?
Well, my reputation is flawless, and I'm well known as the best river guide to be found. So I can tell you with some authority that there are, what is it, Hopi?
Hopi Indian,
Yeah, they're-
Apache.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are several Indian groups that are in the area, although much of the Grand Canyon has been taken as government property. And so there are certain areas that we are not supposed to be entering, although should it come to it, should our discoveries lead us there, then we must persevere where needed.
Yeah, what year is this?
1919.
And what season or date?
We are at the tail end of summer, so it's beginning of September. The weather's just starting to cool, and it is expected that the expedition will be done before winter comes. All right. If there are no more questions, then I suppose we should be on our way. Mr. Johansson, if you please, let's set out.
Okay. So where are we? We're putting in right at the head of the Colorado River?
Yeah, you'll be putting in right up here and working your way down.
Okay.
So roll and navigate.
Everybody in the boat. Now, am I using the green or the purple one? What do we?
It's not at what is
Penalty.
it? Penalty.
Right.
So
The green one.
Yeah, so use the green one. It'll.
That's just the basic rule.
Yeah.
I have success.
All right. So yeah, your knowledge of the river makes the day's travel nice and smooth. You hit a few small rough patches of river, but for the seasoned guides, they're nothing, and for the doctors, it's a little bit of excitement, but nothing too much. So yeah, at the end of the first day, you managed to make it down a good chunk of the river. So far, you haven't reached the point where you're going to be actually starting your exploration. So, yeah, you make camp, and
Does this circle here represent where we're going?
the red one down there,
Yeah.
that was the location that he had originally found it at.
Are you saying we've got to go beyond that now?
So you're going to take the river down till you get to your first location. I can't read the name of that valley there, but yeah, you'll be reaching that point and then heading up into the mountainous terrains to try and look for any caves that may enter, or you may be able to enter into. So yeah, with that
Did anybody
navigation
tell
roll,
him that those hills are swarming with Apache?
actually, I believe the northern side was Hopi.
And as I understand it, they're quite peaceful.
The Hopi, yeah.
It depends on your disposition towards them, but yes, for the
Because
most
I
part.
have strong ties to the Hopi. I think that as long as we treat them with respect and respect their ancestors, they will be no danger to us.
All right. So yeah, another navigation roll for the second day.
Were you talking about Marble Canyon?
This one right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So another navigation roll from Arthur Johansson and Harold Jacobson. Toss yours in there as well.
All right.
So yeah, 2 successes. Yeah, you make it another good chunk down the river. So let's see, you make it down to about here on the map. So one more good solid day should get you to where you're going. At this point, the river is going to be getting a little bit rougher. Arthur and Harold, you know that the next stretch of the train is going to have some rapids and you're going to need to make sure everybody's prepared.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we've got a rough stretch coming, so people can easily be thrown off the boat here, and you'll drown for certain.
I feel like that's going to be my fate.
Yeah.
Could I check all of our rigging on our luggage?
Yeah.
Do a spot hidden?
Yeah. Let's see. I'll do a...
I'm just looking for any sloppiness or unprofessionalism by the guides in strapping down our supplies.
Yeah, I'd say do a spot hidden.
Yeah, looks like someone is going to get thrown off the boat.
You should give him a penalty, though, because
Nice.
I'm a constant distraction to him. Mr. Sterling, now do you think that there actually is Egyptian artifacts here? What do you think of this?
Absolutely not. We're thousands of miles away from Egypt.
Yes, but look at the canyons, the strata. Surely this is the play place of the ancient gods, responsible for all men. Perhaps this was the common meeting place between the Egyptians and the people who now live in this area. Surely that's possible.
Surely, some would say anything's possible, but in my experience, Egypt is in the Mediterranean.
Well, quite right. I'm not disputing that. But this is what I'm doing while he's trying to make sure all the stuff is okay. I'm just constantly asking him questions about different things.
So everyone make a spot hidden roll for tonight.
Oh, got them doctor eyes.
Yes, Mr. Sterling, I do not dispute that, but I'm sure you are aware of the Pangea theory.
Yes, that all of the continents once were one,
Yes.
but perhaps the timescales involved in that theory and those of ancient Egypt do not overlap.
Perhaps. I suppose we will find out. I, for one, think that Kincaid has stumbled onto something potentially great.
Kincaid walks up. He says, a man who recognizes the
Fail.
pure,
Spot hid. Nice.
pure brilliance.
It worked out. As you both.
Anyway, so Dr. McTarnahan is he's just kind of looking at the scenery around, and he happens to notice what looks like a shelf up about halfway up the cliff face with a small opening in it.
How would I? Maybe I'll approach one of the guides.
Okay.
Point it out. Like I guess I'll walk up to what's your name, Brian?
Arthur?
Arthur here. What do you make of that hole up there? And was it the plateau? Not plateau, or
Up in the cliff
shelf?
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up on the,
what do you make of that hole up there on the shelf on the cliff face?
well, what do I make of it?
You know that there are shallow caves and things like that all throughout the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, there's caves all over. All over.
Really?
Yeah. I've been in quite a few of them. I've never found any Egypt in them, but
Yeah, Kincaid here's overhears your conversation. He says, "Cave? What cave?"
Well, right up there, Mr. Kincaid. Easy, you spot it plain as day.
You have the eyes of a hawk, my good sir. I never would have noticed that. Arthur, good sir, I believe that this. I know we're not quite where we should be, but I believe that this might be a good opportunity for us to take a look.
well, you're the
How about-
boss.
How about you pull out the ropes and see if we can get us up there?
All right. Yeah, you're in charge, but you're not gonna find anything exciting up there.
Don't we have to worry about like trespassing on Indian territory or?
Well, that's part of the reason why I insisted on this crew that came with us. Harold Jacobson there, he knows where the holy territories are that we should stay away from, and knows the signs of the Hopi Indian in this territory. So,
All right.
Should I roll
just
my
making
natural
sure.
world?
Well, I also have an academic's knowledge of the Hopi as well. I could offer that if needed.
Do you now?
As I was saying, if you take a look at my map of Pangaea I keep in my journal, you'll see that the equatorial band goes right across from southwestern America to Egypt. So if a tribe were to travel or migrate, keeping to...
So-
on and on.
so yeah. While he's talking the ear off of Mr. Sterling, he Harold and Arthur get out the pack ropes and start working their way up. Arthur, if you want to do a climb check, see if you can make your way up there.
Oh man, should I make him a creationist? We all know Earth is almost 7,000 years old. I don't know what you babbling on about.
Yes, see, on that time scale, that would precisely fit with what I'm saying, Mr. Sterling.
So yeah, Arthur, you have no problem getting up there, and second person up once the rope is secure is Mr. Jacobson. If you want to roll your special skill, just roll a D100.
Not climb.
Oh, man.
No, with the rope you have no problem getting up.
I gotta be careful. He's trying to sway into Bobby Boucher's mom accent.
The devil.
All right,
All
so,
that Pangea. Devil.
all right, so you got a 44. Once you get to the top, you notice that there are some markings on the outside of this cave, which is only about 2 feet high. So if you're going to go in there, it's going to be on your belly. But it does seem to go back in a little ways. And the markings around the outside are Hopi markings that indicate danger. And if you and Arthur want to roll your natural world.
Because I don't like this, Arthur. I don't mind going in caves, but looks like there's something dangerous in here.
Yeah, well, it's too tight for us to be fitting in there anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know that those markings are sometimes placed for caverns that have collapse problems, or sometimes they contain they've been found to be like snake dens or things along those lines.
People go in, don't come out.
Or the
Yeah,
chupacabra.
Not necessarily chupacabra, but I'm thinking more like
Yes,
water
and,
snakes.
or
Yes, and water snakes.
yes, and not the chupacabra. Could I have some binoculars, like in my bag?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be watching them through some binoculars then. Nice and safe.
So yeah, what do you?
As
Kincaid is Kincaid's yelling at you to bring up one of the archaeologists so that they could take a look.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I'll tell them. It's got the markings for danger. It could be collapsed. There could be
snakes.
rattlesnake den here that the Hopi marked so people don't stumble in there. I don't think there's any Egyptians in it.
All right. So which of the archaeologists is going to be the first one up?
Well, I suppose I'll volunteer. I used to climb trees some 15 years ago. Shouldn't be much more difficult than that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you get to the top, and their warnings are kind of playing on your mind a little bit that it could be dangerous if you try and go in there.
Yeah.
But you have
Folks, they don't have no lick of sense in their brains at all.
But you were a well-funded expedition, so you have an electric torch, and you do have the opportunity to go in there.
Yeah, I'll struggle with that device for a minute and proceed cautiously.
Okay. So yeah, you work your way in, and you can see that it goes back quite a ways, but it does get narrower and narrower as you get in.
We're just letting him in? I want to try and dissuade him more, is point out the markings. Be look, fella, it's obvious you shouldn't go in here, as they don't just put these warnings up for nothing.
Well, yes, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, good sir.
You said yourself you had some schooling on the Hopi. Just take a look at these markings.
Okay, what do I make of them? Anthropology, would that maybe come?
Make an anthropology.
You want a hard or anything, or just the normal?
Yeah, we'll do a hard one on this.
So I don't understand how this works.
Yeah, I don't know what any of those mean.
So you rolled a 79 on your first one, 25 on your second roll, and 29 on your third.
One. Okay.
So yeah, those other ones would be the bonus die. So no, you failed on this one. So
I'll push.
Okay.
Always push.
Okay. So I need a 25,
so
basically.
Yeah, if you push and fail, you're going to kind of piss off Harold Jacobson by spouting some absolute crap about the Hopi India.
Okay.
Is that dangerous?
16.
All right.
Always push.
Yeah, you succeeded.
Push, man.
All right. So yeah, you do recognize them, and you do know that it's kind of a broad warning that's used by the Hopi. Kind of the same way that there used to be hobo markings and stuff like that. It's just kind of a broad term for this could be dangerous place.
Well, yes, I do see the signs, but they are rather vague.
Yeah.
So we do not know what could be snakes.
You to walk into a house and there might be a bear or a rattlesnake, are you gonna go?
Yes.
I'll just take my hat off and shake my head.
Yeah.
Well,
you're just shaking your head, fool city folk.
yeah. So if he insists on going in there, then I'll follow him.
Did you want to do the PvP thing,
In case he gets in trouble.
where you try to dissuade me of it with a roll?
No.
Oh man.
All right.
The city slicker get himself killed.
So you're gonna do
That's his business.
any like
After you,
security
Professor.
things, like tying ropes around your waist so they can pull you out if you get stuck or anything like
that's
that?
it.
or-
What I'm
If they
gonna
mention
suggest,
it, I'll be like, oh yes, good idea.
Is I'm going to suggest to take let's put some rope around you. Maybe we could pull your body out.
You got a light source?
Yeah, he's got
an
an electric torch. All right.
Oh, fancy.
So yeah, after you guys get all
It's all
set
I
up,
brought.
Just that and a tie.
Yeah, and loafers.
we're gonna be kind of ad-libbing the inventory.
Yeah. So I'll have that. I'll wait for them to secure me, and then I'll start proceeding
Okay.
downwards, inwards.
So yeah, there is enough room that both you and Arthur can kind of fit side by side in it, even though it's a little bit tight as far as vertical space. You two can manage to wiggle your way down about 10, 15 feet in there before it makes a sharp turn downward. and the cave gets so narrow you can't move any farther forward. Make an archaeology check.
Yeah, me too. I'll do one.
You do a natural world check.
Okay.
I failed. How much luck do I got? 56.
Are we using luck like we do in Travis's, or are
Yep.
we? Okay.
I failed.
All right. So yeah, you get in there and you don't really notice anything weird. From below, you can hear what sounds like dripping water. But yeah, there's
more to be explored, but I'm afraid I can't go any further.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of these caves. You know, we don't have to be.
Yeah.
I told you there's plenty of these caves all throughout the canyon.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a hidden one, so whatever's to be found in here has already been found.
Can I
you're looking
mimic
for
the sounds
secret-
of a chupacabra at the entrance?
if you want to, yeah.
What does that sound like, John?
Yeah, I kind of want to hear this.
No idea.
Well, better figure it out quick because we're waiting.
Yeah. Well, let's make our way back to the boat.
You know, I've heard that there is a rumor of an ancient subterranean people that lived underground. I wonder if they lived in such an area.
Yeah.
But they did.
They did.
Truly.
Yeah.
Well, what can you tell me of
That's
them?
what the legends say. Well, I'll tell you back at the boat.
One can talk and do other things.
Yeah, no, I was just messing with you, Professor. I don't know anything about that.
Oh,
I'm a
shame.
simple man. I'm known as a straight shooter.
All right. So at the end,
I love your ability to key in on 2 words in your character bio.
I'll always deal fair.
So yeah, once you get down,
Is that your chupacabra impression?
so yeah, for some reason,
noises.
for some reason, Harold's out there making weird noises at you guys as
What
you're
is
in.
that?
It's
them
to
roll
ward
a,
away evil spirits if anybody catches.
Man, what would it be? Would it be like a appearance almost, like a charisma or an acting check to see if it's believable?
Yeah, perform.
Yeah,
Perform.
I think either like it could be an intimidate check or probably any one of the.
Versus your occult. There's no way that's a chupacabra,
Yeah.
especially
They
if
sound like this.
That's not what they say.
All right. So yeah, you guys come down and Kincaid's. Well, what'd you find?
I'm afraid nothing of interest this time, sir.
Of course. We couldn't expect to strike gold on the first toss of a pebble. I'm sure there are dozens of caves that we'll need to explore before we find the right one. Well, enough for the excitement for the night. How about we turn in?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So yeah, the next day you are going to be heading through some rapids. So Arthur and Harold make another navigate check, and everyone else make just a straight dexterity check.
Wow.
Oh, I got it.
Are you going to push or do you want me to?
Yeah.
nice.
How did your roll go?
I failed as well.
Okay. We better push.
Yep.
How much did you fail by? Maybe I could just
I
use
failed
luck.
by quite a bit. I think you'd have better option of buying it.
Yeah.
How much luck do you get?
44.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
It's
just
only
spend
10.
some luck to make the roll keeper.
Okay. So yeah, you struggle through this area because of the rapids. The undercurrents change regularly, and you manage to notice at the last second, just before you hit an eddy that would have flipped the boat. And yeah, your luck manages to pull you through. Let's see. It looks like, surprisingly, all of the archaeologists and the doctor managed to stave off any mishap of being tossed out of the boat or injured as you go down. They had listened to your preparations and followed through.
It's because I'm
Precisely.
running from the screams of my dying patients.
Yeah, you just go into a zen place where you just hear them dying over and over again and roll with the with the waves.
I like to think that's what happened when mention of the train occurs too. Anything to do with trains.
Is it your train on your private property? You just put just on the tracks and just
I flipped it. It was all my grandkids.
All right, so yeah, your third day, you make it down to the, you make it through the rapids, and you get to the campsite late. So there's no time to explore today, but Mr. Kincaid is excited. He says, I can feel it. I can feel that it's here somewhere. I can feel it in these hills. Tomorrow we will begin the search in earnest. And yeah, you guys settle in. Arthur and Harold make a natural world check real quick. All right, so Harold, as you guys are setting up, you manage to notice that there is a snake den nearby, and you manage to use an old Hopi Indian trick in order to get the snakes to kind of vacate without attacking anybody. You know, this isn't as fun when you guys don't fail your rolls as often.
It'll happen.
Yeah. But all right, so yeah, you guys settle down, and yeah, tomorrow you will begin the search. Now, to just kind of set the stage, you are at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and you've kind of entered into an area where the slopes are a little bit easier and more gentle. It's not quite straight cliffs, but in order to get to the height where he believes the entrances will be, you guys will need to kind of pack in a little bit. So yeah, you settle in for the night, and the next morning you will begin working your way up into the valley, looking for those caves.
So where are we abouts on the map here?
So you guys are right here at that bend right there. You'll be working your way up, hoping to find caves up in that area.
All right.
Kind of looking at the other side of that. What is that plateau? That name's cut off. Anyway, yeah, that major plateau there. You'll be looking for entrances up there. So next day, Arthur and Harold make navigation checks.
It's the Kaibab Plateau.
Kaibab?
Yeah. All right, next day, navigation. All right, so listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to head that direction.
All right. So, yeah, you finish that with a hard success. So, yeah, you guys easily navigate your way up through the valley. It's a rigorous journey. So, everybody make a constitution check.
Mm-mm.
To see how you
Success.
The
Yes.
souls
Too many
of
cigarettes.
Souls of
Oh,
your
they
lost
weigh me down.
patients weigh you down.
All right. So, yeah, the young James Higgins seems to, really enjoy this as a nice hike, while the doctor and Professor Sterling there are struggling to make their way up.
Sterling, are you okay? How will we go about reporting this if we find
We won't be
Egyptian art?
reporting anything if this takes too much of a toll on us. We need a break.
I agree. Quite right.
Yeah, so I'll say to Harold that, yeah, these professors, they need a break or they're going to collapse.
Yeah.
Please set us up some shade and water, and also
Tea, please.
Scout ahead and see if we can
Aren't
find
we
an
on
easier
a,
trail for them.
Are we on like a cliff slope?
There are
Best I can do is probably rig up some ropes so that you can sit down, or at least lean back. Get some
in the Grand Canyon. There are several places where kind of the terrain will allow for shade if you kind of press yourself up against the canyon walls, and there are regular plateau areas where one layer of strata has been worn away, but another one hasn't. So yeah, it's not that difficult for you to find
Do
a
we
place
have
for them
any
to.
like rock climbing tools? Like, what are they, pinions and...
Yeah, you've got the full set of climbing gear.
Do we have a tarp?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take some tent sticks, nail some pinions into the wall, and then make a little outcrop for them to shade themselves in.
All right. So yeah, he sets you up with a nice place to rest as Arthur and Harold go explore a little bit to try and find a good path forward while you guys rest.
And I'll ask Arthur if he wouldn't mind going back to the rafts and bringing one of my books so I can read.
So we'll just say that that's part of why you're so worn out is you actually have a
small collection.
Yeah, you have a collection of books in your travel bag that you've brought with you, and they're weighing you down quite a bit.
Yeah, I'll sit down in the shade next to what's your character's name?
William Sterling.
William Sterling. Next to Sterling. I'll be mopping my head with a now very damp handkerchief, and I'll be putting a cigarette in the corner of my mouth. I'll offer him one.
No, sir, but if you have a pipe, I would take some tobacco.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, but I do not. But you're always welcome to have a smoke with me if you do find yourself inclined. Oh, thank God for the mercy of the shade. Them boys, I swear they're going to beat us like rented mules by the end of the day.
Yes, but as long as we take the time to rejuvenate ourselves in this shade and read for several, maybe 4 or 5 hours, we could walk again later tonight.
Perhaps have a bit of old cough medicine. Do you partake of this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll take a swig out of a flask and I'll pass him. Can it be a decent whiskey? Or not whiskey, let's go with bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a doctor. You got the good stuff.
So how long can we take a break before we, run into the danger of not being on flat ground at nighttime?
Like I said, there are regular places where there are plateaus and outcroppings. So you can take a good rest, and while they're resting, you and Harold, now knowing their limitations, begin looking for a flat place where you can set up camp for the night.
Yeah,
within their range.
Yeah, that's what I was about to suggest too.
So yeah, if you want to do a natural world to find a good place.
Hey, what is the survival skill used for in this game?
For your case, you have that special ability that if you fail on any of your kind of more natural related skills, you can roll that as a secondary chance of success.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like a push with a different twist. It won't make it not a fail, but it will mitigate any negative effects.
All right. So you said roll natural world?
Yep.
It's all by success on that one with luck.
All right.
So then, because I failed,
yeah, you can roll
I can roll survival to eliminate or mitigate the consequences of failing.
Yep.
Okay, I'll roll that then. And succeeded there. So I suffer no consequences for my failure.
All right. So yeah, you don't find the place, but once Harold points out a place that might work, you're like, yes, that'll be perfect. It'll shelter us from the cold air, and the heat radiating from the cliffs will help keep us warm through the cold desert night. So yeah, they eventually come back and find you gentlemen, chatting around underneath the makeshift shelter, and yeah, they once again slave drive you up the trail according to your constitutions until they reach a place where you can set up camp for the night.
I swear the spirit is willing, but the body is unable, Mr. Kincaid. You need to call your goons off of me and allow me a quick respite.
Well, these are the best men I've been told, and I have full faith that any punishment that they may inflict upon us and our persons in our travels is only necessary as far as it is allowed.
I have a sinking suspicion
if I hear
of disbelief.
anybody talking about it, is I'll try to point out, like it's only up here, and try to actually point out the area that we had found to try and soothe their mind, but tell them that there isn't anywhere good to stop over here. You're not going to be able to sleep on this slope. Because once we get up there, you have all the rest you desire for the rest of the night.
I can dang well try. Fine. Let's get this going.
All right. So yeah, as you're sitting around your campfire, waiting for food to finish up, everybody make a spot hidden.
Fail.
You're distracting yourself.
So James, you're busy chatting off William Sterling's ear, talking to him about some of the legends that you've heard about this area, as well as the
Yes,
the rest
do you
of
think a
Southwest.
materialist approach is really the only angle we should look or view history through? Surely we must pay honor to the traditions of ancient cultures as well.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that walk didn't tire you out enough to just be quiet for a bit?
Oh, I'm sorry, good doctor. Yes, I will be quiet.
Enjoy your meal. Mouth is meant for eating as well as speaking.
Should also remind you that he is quite a bit younger than you as well.
Boy.
Well, as I said, I climbed trees quite often when I was a boy. My constitution is...
Hush your mouth, boy.
But yeah, everybody that rolled a hard or higher, so William, Harold, and Eugene, you notice a formation that looks a little bit odd, a little bit farther up the hill.
I'm not going to say anything in fear that they're going to cause me to walk again.
Okay.
I'll point it out to Arthur, say maybe we should take a look at that tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, let's take a look before we drag them up there.
Yeah.
I noticed too that strange outcropping, similar to one I studied on the plains outside of the Gaza Plateau.
So yeah, William, roll your archaeology.
Hmm?
All right. So yeah, success. So yeah, you noticed that the formation has the look of being shaped by human hands. Not like any kind of building or anything like that, but you can tell that it's not just natural wear that gave it its shape.
Monolith or standing stone type thing?
Something like that, yeah. It's a piece of the cliff that is kind of cut out in a way that just isn't quite natural. Though it's...
Yes, friends, at some point, human hands did touch those rocks.
Yeah, it's been worn down. You can tell that it's been worn down for a very long time. But yeah. So yeah, you mentioned that, and Kincaid steps up. He says, "What?
Oh, now you gone.
Human hands? What do you mean by that?"
Well, if you take a look at how the rocks have been worn over many millennium, at some point, ancient peoples, or perhaps the Hopi Indians, came through and had their go at it with other rocks and did a bit of shaping.
So he claps you on the back. He says, "My good friend, that is just the sign that we needed to give us some hope in this mission. Thank you for that. Mr. Jacobson, you know this area, and you know the people that have lived in this area. Are there any legends that may explain what this was?"
Well, I might be able to think of a few, but I'd really like to take a closer look.
Yes, by all means. Although it is beginning to get a little bit dark, I fear that we don't want to lose too many of our guides. So if you two don't mind hurrying back once you take a closer look, it would give us all some peace of mind.
I'll make a torch.
I'll
out
accompany
of
them.
One of William Sterling's books, and no, I'll grab a brand out of the fire, and
you do have electric torches that you guys can use if you are so inclined.
And nothing beats the real thing.
All right.
But yeah, grab a brand out of the fire, nod to Arthur, and start making my way up.
All right.
So yeah, and William, you said you wanted to accompany him?
Yeah, I'll grab the electric torch.
So yeah, this professor who has been complaining about, hiking all day, kind of sucks it up, takes a deep breath, and starts following you with a torch that kind of hurts your night vision a little bit.
Where you got the academics adrenaline surge.
Yeah.
It's, even though he's complained throughout the day, you got to give him a little bit of respect for getting up and making his way
Pushing
up this
on.
hill at night. So,
All right, so you get up there, and let's see. William, we'll have you do. We'll do an archaeology roll for you, and Harold. How about you do your Hopi storyteller?
that one was just roll a 100.
Yeah.
Roll a check. Or a history, I guess, is what it looks like. Do I even have history? I do.
Well, you'll roll. Yeah, you can roll history, but it'll be against it's a
50.
50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right.
succeed.
Yep. All right. So you both get up there and you see this thing, and it's really hard to distinguish, but it seems to have a vaguely humanoid shape to it. Not strong definition, but kind of a vague human shape. And Harold, you remember stories of the gods that shaped this land, that they had helped shape humans out of the stone as part of one of those traditions. And so there are legends about this area that certain spaces may have partially created humans that the gods had abandoned in their endeavor. So, William, yeah, you're kind of looking over, and you get the impression that it was a female figure. It seems a little bit more slender, and the shape of it kind of indicates that it was a female image. But yeah, while you're looking it over, Harold is telling you the legends that he had heard.
Yeah,
So you're
that
saying
makes
this
sense.
is a goddess of creation.
Perhaps a fertility symbol hammered into the rock by the ancient peoples. Probably some weathering has occurred after the fact that it was carved. It's been here for thousands of years.
So yeah, after you examine it, there aren't any real details that you can make out. But yeah, it does appear that it is on what almost seems like a trailhead. So yeah, from here, there's another plateau that kind of opens up above it that you can traverse.
So what would be the reason for them to have put this here? What's the lore around that?
The legend has it that these were once protectors and warriors that they had placed for the Hopi people in order to protect them and teach them. And the areas where these were created were original kind of settled territories by the Hopi. They found good places for camps, and as they migrated throughout the territory, they would stay here as a tribe or nearby, and that these were considered a good sign for the area.
Okay. Yeah, it seems our luck may be in then.
Shall we follow the trail tonight or wait for the morning?
Well, I think that it wouldn't do us any harm to explore a little more and see what's up ahead.
All right. So yeah, you two.
How long do we have until?
Like I said, getting through the rapids and the canyons did take the vast majority of the. Or no, that's right. You guys are traveling in. That was yesterday. So because of the prolonged rest period, the sun is starting to go down behind the canyon now. And Harold, you do know that even for the best, guide, traversing at night does have additional risks. Not just for being able to see the terrain, but there are animals that come out during the night that can be dangerous.
I just remembered there's chupacabra that come around here at night.
I was going to say, I was thinking more along the lines of scorpions and and
Listen, when the sun goes down in the canyon, it goes down fast.
Yeah.
So I'll reverse that statement and tell them that with the sun going down, once it goes beyond the canyon walls, it's going to get real dangerous out here at night. So it'll be best to turn back, and we'll have to continue that exploration tomorrow.
Fair enough. But I do think this is a good sign, and we should follow this trail more instead of heading back to the rafts tomorrow.
Yes, I 100% agree. It's long been known that these fertility gods keep the chupacabras away.
All right. So yeah, you head back to camp, and everybody passes the time as they see fit. Of course, Kincaid is excited to hear what your findings were, Professor Sterling.
And I explained to him about the carved out legends that Harold told me of the Hopi Indians, and how it probably is a marker along one of their ancient trails, which, although doesn't lead us at all to believe that the Egyptians were ever in this area, it is interesting and worth investigating more tomorrow.
He just laughs. He says, "I'll make a believer out of you yet. Just wait. You won't believe your eyes when you finally see it." But it was magnificent. And he kind of wanders off, muttering to himself about, his own greatness, and he'll be remembered throughout history in his semi-delusional fashion. But yeah, you rest the rest of the night without any incident, and the next morning you head up. So
either last night or this morning, I do want to give Arthur a breakdown of what we found and what it probably means as far as areas that should be safe for us to traverse. Probably some good areas to set up camp up ahead too.
So yeah, after you two kind of discuss that and go over it, you think that it might lead to a good place for kind of a base camp while you search the cliffs in the area, because you know that it'll take up to a week to really search this area, kind of top to bottom, and give it the full treatment. So yeah, the next morning, you all wake up. Arthur and Harold start scouting ahead, heading out a little bit ahead, and the rest of you soft city folk follow behind.
And I'll make a detailed drawing of this rock formation and take some notes.
All right, very good.
So that's supposed to be a woman? I don't see it. Kind of looks like a lame dog. Are you sure?
Nothing's certain, but we can use this to collaborate if we find other sculptures ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, you struggle to see its vision as a woman, but you kind of eventually see it in the same way that you see a stick figure with a triangle for a skirt. Looks kind of like a female.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, midway through the day, you actually do manage to find a really good flat plateau area that would make a good base camp.
Okay.
And begin setting up. From there, it's kind of up to you guys on which direction you want to take. And so...
So would this be a good spot for me to set up?
Where are we on the map?
You guys are right about there. So yeah, you found this plateau right there that gives you a good vantage point for reaching up higher, as well as is kind of sheltered from the worst of the sun.
So would this be a good spot for me to set up like a semi-permanent, treatment area if need be?
Yeah.
All right.
It'd be like a natural world or something for best guesstimate on where a entrance could be if one was to exist into what I'm assuming is the Hopi underworld.
So
just for a starting direction of search.
So as far as like all of the legends go, and even the information that Kincaid had about the place that he had found, you know that it's towards the top of the cliffs. It's only down about 1.5 strata in the cliffs, and so yeah, it's about 1,000 feet down from the top, but from where you guys are, most of those cave systems are up a few hundred feet, but they can be anywhere along the cliff face, just as kind of a natural place where the stone would wear away because of the way it's composed. But yeah, you know that almost anywhere up along that region, there is the possibility of finding them.
Well, wouldn't the best place be to start be as close to the original one that he found?
Well, that's still several days' journey down the Colorado.
And under government control right now.
Yeah, and it doesn't have like troops or anything, but yeah, it's technically supposed to be an area that's reserved for the government studies and those kinds of things.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to take,
I would say it'd probably be best to explore south then, because if the entrances are up in the cliffs, or on cliff shelves, then we need to make sure, or like that would be the most likely, I would think.
Okay. Yeah. If you guys want, you can either do a spot hidden check from where you are, or if you want to explore out a little bit and do some spot hidden checks, you guys can kind of split up and see if you find anything.
Can you ping again where our base camp is?
Right there. There's a little tiny dot there.
I can't quite see it, so I'll just bam.
Do you want to take like a southwest and I'll take a southeast, Arthur?
Yeah, that works. I'll head from there. I'll just look in a southwesterly direction. So basically, I guess I'll look along the stretch that overlooks that little finger of the plateau.
So like right along here?
Yeah, that's overlooking the plateau, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll follow that line around even further south along the...
Okay. So John, he's doing there, and you wanted to kind of go more down this way?
I was going to take a look, that way, or I was thinking more like these areas there. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay, so that area just where you have those red marks, those are going to be a bit lower in terrain than where the standard cave systems would normally show up.
Oh, okay. As it kind of looked like the topography of it there, it might rise back up, and like this area here was a lower canyon.
Yeah, it does rise up, but not quite to the heights that you expect to see the caves in.
All right, then I'll go. Yeah, I'll check out that area there, almost directly south.
All right. So yeah, for the academics, they need 2 guides, shoulder their packs with some water and food, and say they'll be back after they do a short exploration to see if they notice any caves. If you'd like, one of you could go with each of them, see if you might spot any archaeological.
Well, if I won't be a bother, I feel quite rested.
Yeah, you can come with me.
I'd almost insist you follow.
Come along.
Hey, I've been quiet for a while.
Take your ease if can't.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go as well and go over to this blue line and check out up above the creek on the other side of the plateau.
I would love to assist you, but unfortunately I have to assemble my camp here. So
if you're going to try and make it to that blue line, you will need climbing gear to get up the cliff face, over the plateau, and back down.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this ridge right there along that gray stretch and that yellow stretch are going to be where the cliff face is high enough that you actually need to scale it.
Okay, I'll just go with the guides then.
Okay. So how about you go with Arthur, and James, you'll follow Harold since you can keep up with him and he's going a little bit of a longer distance. And Dr. Eugene.
Yes, come along, Eugene.
Do you just want to take your ease at the camp?
Yeah, I figure like, I probably don't have like a lot of additional supplies, but I probably have something like almost a lean-to, like a canvas lean-to that
Yeah.
if anyone gets laid out, they can lay under so they can seek shade and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I'll go about laboriously setting that up. No, that's such hard work in this heat.
All right. So everybody make spot hidden.
Oh, I succeeded hard.
Failed.
I go hard.
So William Sterling was there. All right. So as you are going through and looking at things, let me get rid of these. You do see several locations that seem to be possible entrances to a cave. So let's see here. William and Arthur, you see them here, here, here. And then Harold and James, you see one that's very obvious here. So, yeah, after about midday, you all begin to head back towards camp so that you can collaborate and show or tell where you had seen the caves at the level. All of these caves are at a point where you would need some climbing in order to be able to reach them.
Okay. But yeah, so we go back to the camp there and meet up?
Yep.
Yeah. So then I'll just... Now, who was with me that saw those?
That was me.
Okay, so I'd have pointed them out to you.
And he actually even spotted one. He's like, is that one?
Yeah, so perfect. Sorry. Well, we'll get back and say we found a bunch of entrances that might be worth checking out.
And were any of them having signs of being worked at?
From the distance that you could see them, it was hard to tell.
Okay.
But yeah, there were several possibilities.
We'll have to check them all then.
All right. So
we found one. Is pretty big, pretty obvious up there. I was not able to tell if it had been worked, but I do remember the doctor having a pair of binoculars. That might be worth to see if we can, unless we have some ourselves. Might be worth it to see if we can borrow those for when we set out tomorrow.
Yes, and I think we'll just send you up, Harold, and check out each cave till you get tired.
Well, as long as you don't need my pair of eyes with the binoculars, you can borrow them all day long if you want.
all right. So you have enough time to get to that one that's closest to you, to your camp, if you guys want to try and get up there and back by the nightfall.
I would definitely press for that.
Yes, let's...
Right. So, yeah, Arthur, Harold, you say you'll lead the way.
Yeah.
I'll grab some climbing gear then.
And they do ask that the good doctor join them at least part way, just in case somebody gets injured.
Somebody could twist
Close
an ankle.
enough that you can hear the screams, Doctor. Please.
I hear the screams every night, boy. All right.
All right.
Fine. I will accompany you.
So yeah, you get up there, and so make a climb check, Arthur.
All right, climb. Let's do it. I hard succeed.
All right, so yeah, you scramble up there like a mountain goat without any problem. Secure the rope and toss it back down. So who's going to be the next one up?
Do you see any writing up there?
Don't know how to read.
I'll go.
Any markings?
Yeah, I'll take a look. Do I see any?
You don't see any obvious writings, but
Not just yet. We'll get you educated fellows up here and have you take a look.
I'm not interested in climbing unless you can see something worth taking a look.
I can head up there and take a look
Yeah,
around.
I'll throw the rope down, and
yeah.
if they want to come up, they can.
But yeah, this cave is a bit bigger, so you'd have to kind of move forward on your hands and knees, but there is room for you to actually get back in there a ways.
And who's doing that?
Well, that's up to you guys.
Yeah, I'll just keep an eye on the rope here, and I'll sort of help
I
pull
think
up.
John's character was going next.
Yeah, I'll go up and do it.
So yeah, you head up there, and you can kind of look around, but you don't see any Hopi markings or anything like that. And yeah, to your eyes, nothing really. Well, actually, let's see here.
I can head in and I'll
make a natural world roll.
Push.
You gonna
push it.
All right.
Wait, what's the consequences if you fail?
Cave in.
Stuck.
Twisted
No,
ankle.
Right now he's just looking at the cave.
He goes mad staring into the void.
So yeah, if he fails, then he's going. Well, I'll hold that to myself.
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah, if you want to push,
Always push.
okay. So yeah, you succeeded, and you do recognize that this cave, even though it looks natural, seems to be a bit too straight.
I'll call down then that it looks to be worked by somebody. As there's no writing, but the cave is definitely not just a natural opening. Someone's worked it.
Oh, very good. Let's explore it further. So I'll climb up there. Do I have to climb, or?
No, with the rope. At worst case scenario is they just wrap it around your chest and haul you up like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, we were only taught.
That's what I
ankle
imagined.
method.
That is now the canon Sterling climbing method. He's just spinning slowly. Thank you, good sirs. Thank you.
So, yeah, you get up there and yeah, you notice that he's right. At first glance, it looks like any other cave, but you notice that there aren't any areas where the walls kind of bulge out or the roof doesn't have the same kind of undulations that a normal cave would have. Although it does, well, roll in let's roll a, do an archaeology one. And Harold, with your natural world hard success, you can see that the cave used to be bigger, but that it seems to have settled in a way that the ceiling has kind of slowly collapsed down into the cave. Like it hasn't had a major collapse, but yeah, it seems to have shifted in a way that the ceiling is lower than it had originally been.
All right, I'll make sure to point that out.
Yeah, and all right, so William, yeah, you can even find inside the cave what seem to be markings of tools on the walls in certain areas. They have the appearance of being windblown as well, which is a little bit odd for you, because it would take a fairly regular wind through the tunnels in order to have it shaped, and most caves don't have that kind of wind flow.
I've got a theory about that. There's just thousands of years of Indians going and blowing on the wall.
No. well, I do appreciate that theory. I think this erosion probably came from some kind of larger opening funneling wind through down into this tunnel. So let's press on and see what we can find.
I guess it goes back to my first observation then, that this used to be a larger cave and a larger opening.
Could have been, yes.
All right. So yeah, if you guys want to explore down in there, it is actually large enough width-wise that it can fit 3 people across, heading down in. Although, like I mentioned, you will need to be on your hands and knees as you move forward.
All right, let's do it.
How's the sun looking outside? Or
It's well past its zenith and on its way down. So because you're on the eastern side of the cliff face, the area that you guys are in is shaded, but it's still several hours until darkness. So
it's getting close.
You should have an hour or two exploring this cave before you need to head back to the camp to be safely back before dark.
All right. I'm just worried because one of them guides did mention that the critters like to roam and it gets rather dangerous, and I'm unarmed.
That's right. So yeah, you're kind of hesitantly at the bottom. So yeah, after everybody else gets up and they're looking down and say, "Are you sure you don't want to come up here?"
Yeah, I'll look around. I think I have had my curiosity piqued.
All right.
Do you think you can haul me up? I'm afraid I eat way too many crabs back home, so I have a bit of weight to me.
So yeah, they drop the rope again and tell you how to tie it around your
Use the Sterling method.
tie it around your chest, and yeah, they haul you up. Just a couple of little scrapes here and there as they get you up to the entrance.
Thank you, sirs. This just looks like a cave. What's all the hubbub about?
And so yeah, the archaeologists are more than happy.
Well, yes, you see, God does not build in just so.
So so it can fit three people across as if you want. So who are the three people?
Well, I would probably be up. I don't know how these guys feel about hands and knees exploration, but I'd definitely go up to join that.
I think we start crawling.
Yeah, I figure something akin to a gunshot echoing off the canyon walls as I try to get down on hands and knees to follow.
All right, so you are going to follow?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's say Arthur, William, and James kind of head in first. Arthur making sure that it's safe to move forward.
Yeah.
While the other two are investigating the walls and trying to see what else they can glean. All right, so yeah, let's see here. Arthur, if you want to do, let's do a navigate check for you.
I so extremely succeeded
All right.
that I leave these guys all behind.
Succeeded.
So
to
yeah,
the extreme.
as you go in, there are, it goes straight for about 150 yards, and then it starts to head down, and you see that as it heads down, the slope slowly increases. So you start warning them that you're going to want to stop and take some precautions to make sure that nobody falls.
Yeah.
Because you know that sometimes caves will just randomly fall into a drop off that's easy to slide into.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
man.
getting steep up here, fellas.
Yeah, I figure I stop like fairly early on, but the second their lights start to get a little bit too distant,
Yeah.
I start scurrying
Nice
after.
roll, man.
Yeah.
As it gets steep, I'm gonna sit back, go feet first, slide on my ass.
Yeah. Is there could we do something with like the climbing, like pittons and some ropes?
Yeah.
Just to have something to hang on to.
Yeah, so yeah, you can drive the pittons into the cave floor and thread the rope through it so that
Okay.
if somebody does slide, then you can manage to catch them using that.
All right. Yeah. Let's do
As
that.
if we have some type of a board, we could put a
Surf
hole
it?
through the top and make it like a little slide almost for hauling stuff back out or people. Thinking of
Yeah.
a good doctor here.
The good Lord did not make me a circus acrobat trying to navigate this tunnel on hands and knees with one hand holding a flashlight, and now you are introducing rope.
Don't worry, if my theory works here, all you got to do is just lay there.
That's what my wife told me. And unfortunately, there were consequences to such actions. Namely being that they are now in college and I have to pay for that.
So you do manage to make your way down. It doesn't drop off and it doesn't get any steeper. But it does take a while for you to kind of shimmy your way down. But about another 100 yards down, it kind of levels off a little bit, but then runs into a solid wall.
I beg your pardon.
Rock.
I do not shimmy. I saunter.
I want to see someone saunter while sliding on their butt.
You're about to find out, good sir.
But yeah, once you get down there, it kind of opens up into a slightly more open area. And here, the fact that it's worked stone becomes a lot more apparent. It's still worn by time and has the hintings of some sort of airflow at some point that was wearing down the walls. But yeah, once you guys all get down there, let's get a spot hidden check.
Yes, I can see where the men working this. There must be a way through. Fail.
Yeah, I'll have my hands on my knees. Wait a second, we're still on our hands and knees, or did it open up more?
It opened up a little bit more, so you can now sit upright. But,
Okay, I'll do that instead. I'll sit off and lean up against one of the walls and have my handkerchief out again.
All right, so Harold Jacobson, you succeeded. Underneath the far wall, where it appears as if the cave had collapsed at some point, you see what seems to be a bone sticking out from the rubble.
Well, I assume this is part of what the archaeologists are here for. Saul pointed out to him. There's a bone sticking out under these rocks. Looks like they'd collapsed.
Interesting. Great find, Harold. And I'll go
Punch him in the liver.
This bone looks like it's... And then I'll roll? Anthropology? Archaeology.
I think archaeology would date it and maybe figure out like region, location type of thing.
Roll both. Actually, everybody roll both. Archaeology and anthropology.
I got science, biology, or medicine.
You can roll science, biology, yeah.
I'm not rolling good.
So, yeah, let's see here. What did we all get?
I have a successful archaeology.
And
So,
he had
yeah.
extreme,
An extreme success. All right. And Dr. Eugene, you got a success on your biology roll.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Mr. Sterling, you are extremely excited because these bones show signs of fossilization, which
ancient.
is something that you didn't think was possible because humans shouldn't have been in this area long enough for them to get these kinds of fossilized records. With your biology roll, you begin to question whether or not it was a human bone at all. It appears to be an arm bone, but the way that the I can't remember what the name of those bones are, but the way that the way that it rests doesn't seem to fit with how a human wrist works.
Yeah, I was going to start off with probably dismissing it as a bone of any importance. I was going to be like over there dabbing my head being like, oh, it's probably some bird that crawled in here and get up and kind of crawl my way over.
But yeah, you're surprised to see this. Like all of your medical knowledge shows that this isn't something that
I'll be.
Like you don't know all animals, but
I don't believe that to be a human bone. Probably some sort of odd. I don't know. It does appear to be arm though.
It is old. So old that I don't think humans would have been in this area.
Of course not. Only 7,000 years old. That's how old it is, boy. Everyone knows that.
So you don't think it's a human bone? Perhaps
Nah, look at that. How the arm bone would connect to where the wrist is. I don't. My medical knowledge currently escapes me. But it obviously is not aligning correctly. A fool could see that. This boy here could see that.
Perhaps a precursor to humans.
What?
Some lower hominid?
Bunch of hogwash.
or maybe a bear.
Well, to that I can't speak.
Yeah, same here. I won't speak that it's not human.
Can me and Arthur
Probably
try
planted
it
there.
on the natural world?
Yeah, try a natural world and
Placed here by godless heathens. They've been trying to do that. You've seen them dinosaurs.
and while you're at it, everybody roll a listen check.
Listen.
Ooh, hard success.
Like most people of Dr. Eugene's persuasion, he can't hear over the sound of his own voice either.
All right, so let's see. Higgins and Jacobson both got hard successes on their listens. Jacobson got a success on his natural world.
So would I be able to see or tell if it was a bear, like they're suggesting?
No, the size of it does align with what would be a human, but you agree that like you've seen corpses and you've seen bodies, and he's right. The curvature of the bone just doesn't fit with a normal human arm.
Yeah, it doesn't fit with an animal arm either, though. Right.
All this is
Yeah,
excitement.
not one that you're aware of.
Think I should have to sit for another spell and have myself a smoke and a drink.
But while they're discussing it, both Higgins and Jacobson, a sound catches your ear coming from the collapsed wall. It sounds like dripping water, just on the other side of the wall. Like it's kind of an unusual sound. It kind of echoes through the chamber, but it's in a way where it would almost have to be like giant drops of water plunking into like a lake or something on the other side of that wall.
Well, under the assumption that there's a perfectly natural explanation, I'll just allow the conversation about the arm bone to continue and sort of sidle away.
But Jacobson, you know that like that sound makes you a little bit uncomfortable, because if there's water on the other side of the wall, then that wall may not be fully stable.
I'll go look at it.
I was going to suggest that there may be a cavern on the other side of the wall. If we're
Got any
hearing
tools
it,
you can pick at it.
where we would we may be able to find water.
Yeah.
Well, let's try to move some of these rocks and see if we can unearth anything more of this skeleton.
As what would it be to determine if this would collapse if we start to move? Did you say another natural world or?
Yeah. Let's do another natural world. And I don't think anyone has any engineering, so for the professors, if you want, you could make an education roll, a hard education roll. So in your times learning about excavations, you may have come across some understanding of.
Even the doctor knows that this will cause a collapse.
It wasn't a hard success.
It probably is not the sound of water, but an echo of my perspiration. I'm going to waste away in this cave.
So Arthur, you know that this. Ooh, and Sterling.
I don't know if that's right.
Roll language.
Language owned EDU.
I mean, it's the same value as your education, so
So
I guess it works. Yeah.
So you both know that, like you can tell with the way that the stones had collapsed, that you could try and excavate, but the way the stones collapsed, it was so long ago that whether by water trickling through it or just the sheer force of it, the stones have kind of fused together, and it would take serious excavation in order to be able to get through to the other side.
Good thing I have my surgery dynamite.
For opening the chest cavity.
Yes. It also helps in difficult pregnancies.
If you do suggest dynamite, then the archaeologists become irate at the concept of possibly destroying.
Might as well.
Oh, that's
It's surgery
more work.
dynamite. It doesn't harm the fetus. It won't harm
Maybe
the
not
precious
for-
rocks.
Just dynamite the dang old thing.
1920s archaeology, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why, I have my excavation dynamite right here.
Well, it doesn't look like we'll be able to move these rocks easily, but perhaps we should still try.
So, if you guys want to try,
Is there any strong people? See if you can budge anything.
Yeah, we have a couple guys down at the boat.
yeah, there are a couple. Yeah, they came up with you. They've been silent and NPC-ish.
Or Sherpas? What would they be?
Or like
They're like your pack-men.
Pack mules.
Yeah,
All right.
essentially.
This cave
As I
clearly
can try.
goes somewhere.
Well, let's not forget that we saw other entrances we could try as well.
Yeah, what direction would those entrances be?
South of here?
Yeah,
South
one
of
was.
us.
Yeah, the three that you saw were just south of here.
And is this water south of us?
The way that here, I'll draw on the map. The way that it had been going, it looked like it was heading towards that direction.
Well, it's a possibility that we could find a cave that leads back into this area as well as from one of the southern entrances. As if we don't find anything, then I think that we should plan to come back and probably try and move these rocks, though.
Yeah, just let's the strongest person just grab a rock and just try to move it.
Which would be Harold Jacobson. So you would need an extreme success in order to be able to budge any of the rocks.
Can't budge them.
So yeah, you see him straining, and he's not a weak man. You saw him help move the boat like it was nothing, and yeah, he just cannot seem to budge the rocks.
All right. Reckon we just give up on this cave unless there's something else to look at.
No, not anything in particular. Although, if you want, you can take some. Well, at the discretion of Arthur and Harold, take a little bit of time to kind of sketch out the workings on the walls that you'd found.
Let's take this bone with us.
How much time had we spent, would you say, exploring this? And you said we had about a couple hours, right?
Yeah, you're pushing the limits of that at this point, especially if you got to get everyone back up.
It has been a lifetime in this tunnel. I wish the comfort of my cot.
As I would make the suggestion that some of the slower members of the party might want to try and make their way back up towards the top.
I'll look back off down the dark tunnel.
I can help lead the way out.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, after all that, you manage to get your sketches. You bring the bone out as a bit of curiosity and head back to camp. Without any difficulty, you manage to get out there and get back to camp.
James Higgins probably knows 1,000 stories of messing with ancient bones, releasing the restless spirits.
Yep. So yeah, once you get back to camp and you have a chance to more thoroughly examine the bone while settling in. So if anybody wants to do an anthropology check, you can make that.
Fail.
William Sterling got a hard success. So now that you're kind of looking at the bone a little bit more clearly in some good light as you're sitting around the fire, you got your torch and you're really looking up close to it. You notice that it's not quite the same as other fossils you found. Almost as if whatever this bone came from, its bone structure was different from most creatures.
Interesting. So this isn't a calcium-based bone at all.
Yeah, it's like a calcium-based bone, but it's almost like it's laced with other components that makes it harder.
Metals, perhaps?
Think more like stone structures, like quartz and things along that nature. But yeah, the way that it's formed is unique.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about finding something I've never seen before as far as bones go. And I think tomorrow we must go back to that cave and find a way to recover the rest of the skeleton.
Well, if you insist, Mr. Sterling, I'll gladly back you up.
But there was 3 other caves. Maybe we should send the guides to the other caves to see if
we could go
there's
check out
anything
some of the
interesting.
other ones.
Yep.
Yeah. And Kincaid comes walking over. He's been lounging all day at the camp, and he picks up the bone and he says, that's nothing. That's not what we're here for. We're looking for the artifacts that I found, not some random bone from God knows what that's been buried here for eons.
Yeah, but this is actual science. So far, you've done nothing but prove your own ineptitude at archaeology, Kincaid. Now we have the real chance to do something, and we should stay here and excavate this cave.
If you want to come
using our
back here,
3 months.
if you want to come back here and get permission from the Smithsonian, then that's on you. I spent 10 years before I could get the ability to come back here with a team and prove myself right. Now, we're going to stay on mission that I have set forward on this journey, and there will be no distractions of other nature.
Are you suggesting we go back to the rafts?
No. They mentioned there are other caves in this area, and I think that we should continue exploring to find another way down. The way that you had mentioned that the cave had led down gives promise to the idea that there is some sort of pathway into the structure that I had found. And who knows, one of these other caves may be a way down that is not blocked.
Well, that would be terrific. But I think we should do both. I'll take the strongest, and we'll send the other guide to investigate the other caves with you, Kincaid.
I will give you 1 day to investigate that, and then we move on to the other caves. There is a lot of territory to discover here, and I can't be wasting my valuable guide's times on this kind of historical anomaly.
All right. Well, it's well documented that we have found something, so your fool's errand is at least turning into something interesting and of value.
All right.
I was hoping for pistols at 20 paces if I had kept going.
No, I am a gentleman that abhors violence if at all possible, but we do need to stay on task. And while the rest of you may be here to support me, it is my mission to find what I have been accused of fabricating.
Duly noted, Mr. Kincaid. And I'll take a long pull from my bottle, or my flask, which seems to be bottomless.
Yeah,
They always are.
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu.
Not just in Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, like in real life.
Everything, yeah.
Like every person I've met with a flask, it's always at least half full.
Yeah.
So in the morning, shall we start at the far southern cave, work up, check the 3 caves we haven't seen, and then end in this cave and see if we can move the rocks?
Let me roll.
And that one was the biggest entrance, I believe, the southern.
Oh, it was Kincaid himself then. During the night, the next morning, Kincaid mentions that he had gotten up to answer nature's call in the middle of the night, and while he was off to the north, he had spotted another cave that looked like it had been, like the moonlight had glinted just right off of it, right up here. So yeah, up that kind of canyon there, he said he spotted what seemed like another cave.
Now, who said that?
Kincaid did.
Okay.
Hey, boss man's always right. Is that where
He's
we're
the
going?
boss. Yep.
He says that doesn't have to be the only place to go, but that is one of the that should be explored as well.
And what day would this be? Sorry.
Let's see. There was 3 days down to the
5th or 6th.
So 4, 5. So yeah, this should be the 6th.
Awesome. Thank you.
So yeah, it's up to you gentlemen, if you want to start with that or what. But I believe it is something that should be added to the list of locations to check.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go.
Good as place as any to start. We'll go check that cave.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, let's go there. But let's send these helpers that have been lounging at camp to the other 3 caves to see. And I show them the drawings of what they're looking for, whether Hopi markings, strange bones, carved passageways.
All right. You're sending them to the other...
Yeah, the other 3 caves we found.
The other 3 caves.
Just to see if they find anything.
Well, they say we'll have time to go to 1, maybe 2. I don't believe we'll have time to go to all 3 today, sir.
Nonsense, 3.
Well, you don't... Yes. I think we'll just send them to the bottom 2.
To the bottom 2? Okay. All right. So, yeah, they kind of sullenly head in that direction
because
they feel
horseplay is going to happen in this area right here.
I sense we're not going to have helpers
Nah.
anymore.
So yeah, they'll start heading down to the bottom 2, and you guys wanted to go to the one that Kincaid had saw.
Yeah, the one he spotted.
All right,
Let's bring him with us. Kincaid, I'd like to see how you would go about an archaeological dig. Lead the way.
says gladly. I was the one that found the original, although it did take me many years of research and exploration in order to find it. I only hope that our journey leads to the same kind of discovery.
Why, it appears that the heavy burden of maintaining camp will fall to me. I will begrudgingly take this mantle upon myself. Oh, though my heart does ache.
So, yeah, you all...
In my head, by the way.
You all say a farewell to the doctor and head on up there. Okay, it looks like we got about 10 minutes left. So, as you approach it, the way that this canyon kind of funnels you up there, it seems like a pretty worn path. The slope is fairly gentle heading up in that direction because of the distance to get up in there. And once you get up there, the entrance to the cave is only about 15 feet above where that canyon kind of stops. You do have to climb over some rubble and some area where the cliffs have kind of collapsed around it. But yeah, getting up there is actually fairly easy. And yeah, for our archaeologists, roll archaeology, and for our guides, roll natural world.
Hey.
Dang.
We got some extreme successes going on here.
Yeah, that is.
We hit the same
surprising.
seed or something like that.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, William, he's kind of looking at the canyon walls, but the 3 of you, as you're getting up closer to it, you notice something that is striking. The stone underneath your feet it seems a little too easy to traverse. And you begin to recognize that there are long, flat stretches, almost as if there were wide stairs leading up to this cave. So yeah, as you're walking up, you notice that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll pause and this has worked.
Yeah.
And I'll kneel down and start trying to measure out like the size of one stone or something if I can get a whole view of one.
Yeah,
Start brushing stuff up.
difficult because some areas are kind of broken up and others are kind of covered by brush and scrub and whatever. But yeah, you can determine that each of these steps is about 10 feet wide, and then there's about an 8-inch staircase, and then another 10 feet. So yeah, it's a very long.
Big slabs. What kind of stone?
It's just carved
From the rock.
Yeah,
itself.
carved from the rock.
It's an interesting pattern, Higgins, but I do not think that this was carved.
Nah.
But yeah,
It's pretty obvious to see the tool marks right over here.
Yeah, but erosion can take the form of tool marks to the untrained eye.
Well, actually, after they point it out and they kind of show you, and you see Higgins like actually measuring it out, and you begin to see the pattern as well.
I'm rubbing off on you, Sterling.
Yeah, but I don't tell them that I see it.
All right.
That's how you do it.
But yeah, with every step, like as you're doing your measurements and at the mention of the it being worked stone, Kincaid's getting more and more excited. This is very similar to the entrance that I had found previously. It had some staircases heading up to it as well. This is on a much larger scale. Maybe this is the main entrance. Maybe this is how we get down there.
Yeah, I'm a little uncertain because Sterling's sort of not seeing it. So and I'm like, I don't want to overstep my bounds being the student, so to speak.
Maybe this is like that time I stumbled into the occult ritual that turned out to just be a birthday party.
Right. Well, let's not get too excited, Mr. Kincaid. This could, I suppose, be natural.
But let's get into this cave. It looks much bigger than the other one, at least.
Yeah, this one is a lot bigger. Like once you actually get up there, it stands about 18 meters tall, so it is a very large opening in the cave. And the only reason it wasn't immediately apparent before is because of the way that it was kind of pushed back into this canyon. Now with I'll give you another archaeology roll, Sterling. Higgins, your extreme success I'll count towards this as well.
I'll just point out, 18 meters is about 60 feet.
Yeah. So yeah, this
we could fly through this cave if we needed to. What am I doing? Archaeology?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you succeed as well. You notice that the entrance to the cave is a bit wider than, like, it narrows down until it's only about 10 meters. Once you get a good 50 feet, 100 meters, or 50 meters, 150 feet or so into the cave. Although the opening is still wide enough that, you don't need your torches quite yet. But yeah, the entrance to the cave has been worn away quite considerably. But once you get deep enough into it, you can see clear, straight lines carved into the stone as if it was a passageway. And every 20 or so feet, there is a carved statue of some female being. They've kind of been worn down a little bit, apparently from wind flow, but yeah, the shape is distinct, and she takes many different poses. In one pairing, she's sitting cross-legged. In the next one, she's standing, and in the next one, she's kneeling on one knee. And so, yeah, as you move forward, there are 4 pairs of these statues as you move forward, and then once again, there is a cave-in.
Like right now?
No, you get about 200 yards in, and then yeah, there's another cave in. But yeah, this cave goes about 200 yards in that direction. Is there a line drawing?
Mm-hmm. Mr. Sterling, does this female figure match the one you saw?
Well, I'm still sketching them out, but it does seem familiar.
I'm interested in the different poses. Is this some sort of...
There would probably be some rituals involved with each pose at each sculpture, like perhaps the one where she's kneeling. This represents early childhood.
And what's the next one?
There's sitting cross-legged, kneeling, and
one just standing. That's the first one. Yeah, then there's kneeling. Then there's sitting cross-legged, and the last one is her just laying down.
Well, yes, there's a clear descent in the narrative in these carvings.
Yes, perhaps descent, perhaps
humbling
something
oneself
else.
Before
Yeah.
A deity, perhaps?
Oh, but perhaps the other way. Perhaps this is the exit, and she starts sleeping. She
rises. Perhaps this symbolizes the sunrise.
Perhaps.
Or the changing forms of the moon.
Is there anything occult-wise that...
Most of what there would be has been kind of, at least on the statues, has been kind of wiped away by time. But there are some glyphs that you can see carved into the wall behind each one. They're very weathered and they're hard to make out, and there are pieces of them that have just been completely worn away. But yes, there is some writing. And
assuming, since our archaeology rolls didn't catch it, they bear no resemblance to Egyptian hieroglyphs or anything like that?
Yeah, Kincaid sees them and he's like, I told you there are markings, I told you. Although, Sterling, you can definitively say they are not Egyptian hieroglyphics.
No, but I will use my translator skill, which says I can translate unknown languages.
Yeah, if you have the way that one works is if you have an unknown language where you have a reference to translate it into a language you do know, then you can translate that language.
But I don't have a reference yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Well, I'll make a note in my journal, I'll sketch the glyph as best I can, and its association with the particular pose for later reference.
But yeah, towards the very back, Harold Jacobson sees a Hopi glyph that's carved into the wall, but it's a more modern one. It hasn't been worn away like the other ones have. But it's just one.
And can he read it?
What does it say?
Do your Hopi language check.
Oh, you got push it or...
As if I fail, I forget all Hopi language. Or whatever else you come up with.
You'll just mistranslate it. All right.
Oh, man, what a loser.
So, yeah, he failed. And he says it doesn't make any sense. It just means bear.
Yeah, this is the Hopi bear goddess. Everybody knows that.
Or perhaps a place where a bear had wintered.
All right. So while the academics are kind of looking things over, taking sketches and whatnot, Harold Jacobson, speaking to Arthur, says, I better go check on those two men that we sent down to the other cave. Samuel and Peter are good men, but they're not made for this kind of terrain, so I'm going to go check on them.
Man, I can't remember what we call our mule and Brandon's Steve. Yeah,
Steve.
They're both Steve.
Yep. Immortal, omnipotent NPCs that are under constant threat of being destroyed. All right, so yeah, you are doing what you would do. But yeah, everyone that's in the cave, roll a listen check, and I'll roll.
Fail.
Failed dramatically.
Okay.
It's because we're still talking about, we're in some deep end. How did you make those associations? Explanation for the statues.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys are in deep conversation over this, and Kincaid is just pacing back and forth, talking to himself about his own glories. So
name in the newspaper, in lights, perhaps even.
Yeah. G.E. Kincaid, master of archaeology. So, what else would you like to do in this area?
Well, quite clearly, this is a temple, and everything is pointing towards the center. And that's blasted cave-in cuts us off once again. How does it look? Do we have a better chance of excavation?
So yeah, if you want to roll your knowledge or your education, see if you understand anything of that. Arthur, if you want to do your natural world.
Just a regular success for me.
Oh, no.
And Sterling, did you want to take a roll?
Yeah, I'm actually going to do a strength roll
Just go for it.
Just try to push on some rocks.
So yeah, you failed horribly on that one. So yeah, Williams, seems almost desperate to get to the other side to reveal whatever, if there are more statues or if this passage continues. And so he's just shoving at the rocks and trying to pull anything. And he managed to get a couple of little pebbles to break free. But for the most part, he just manages to scrape up his hands pretty good. Arthur, you're sitting down there looking at this, and you're a little bit shocked because you didn't believe anything like this existed here. So you're kind of blown away by that. Higgins, on the other hand, takes a rational approach. He goes up and he puts his ear against the rock wall and starts tapping at it and hitting it with some things to try and get an idea of how deep it might go. And you can tell that you can't hear anything on the other side of this. Like you can't tell if the difference between this area of the cave in or if it was just the cliff. So your intuition based on that kind of says that this is a big collapse.
Yes, I expect several tons of rock lie between us and whatever is at the center.
Yes, I couldn't move it at all. We'll have to go to the next cave.
It's impassable.
And Kincaid kind of looks at you, Sterling. He's like, does this give you at least some indication that I am validated in my find? Will you return to the Smithsonian and help me get the funding that I require to search this in depth?
Well, here's what I don't understand. This cave-in, I don't think it happened last year or in the last 10 years, do I?
No, this is obviously quite old.
And to believe your story, Kincaid, the cave-in was recent.
This is not the entrance that I had found. The entrance that I had found did recently cave in.
It's a different entrance.
Yeah,
in Canada.
This entrance may have been buried for centuries. Perhaps even it was purposefully caved in by whoever made the tunnel in order to hide. Oh, yes, it must be. They must have done it themselves in order to hide their treasures in the same way that they would seal off tombs.
Our only option is to check more caves.
Because I agree.
Unless we go the dynamite route.
Dynamite.
Unfortunately, we left the good doctor back at camp.
So yeah, there is enough time if you want to check one more of the caves, that one just south of the first one you had found.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is a mighty big cave in. I might have to use my amputation dynamite.
I accidentally hit the wrong button.
Everything is dynamite.
Yeah.
All right.
Subscribe a little bottle. Tiny dynamite.
Yeah, we kind of do.
So yeah, as you head down to the next one, you're all kind of in deep conversation over what the potential implications of this are, and your excitement level for being on this journey go from being determined to show a huckster for what he really is to potentially being a part of something that is that will forever be told in the annals of archaeology.
Yes, but in my mind, we're not seeing anything to do with Egyptians here, but rather that something that might diverge from common thought that our ancestry originated in one place. Because this, along with that bone we found, I'm sure you would agree, Mr. Sterling, goes against that prevailing theory.
Yes, we have very solid leads, and we shall follow them wherever they direct us.
Indeed.
And actually, if you want to roll your occult.
Now I'll discredit myself. Extreme success.
Nice.
All right. So while you didn't know what the glyph was on the wall, you're reminded of a writing by a somewhat discredited archaeologist that had been seeking a civilization whose language was called Aklo. He is currently heading to South America, more specifically Peru, in order to kind of try and follow up on those. What was his name again?
I feel annoyance.
It's like, was it Jacobson or Jackson?
What was his name? Forget.
Was it Elias?
You just can't seem to bring it
Right.
it to mind right now. But you know that this has been considered, and so
Right. Now Jackson was your companion. It was the guy that hired you. That escapes me for some reason.
yeah. But yeah. That's kind of in the back of your mind, and although you're a little bit hesitant to throw out an idea that has gotten other people drummed out of academia,
Right. Yeah, but it's on the tip of my tongue though. But then I reserve it.
yeah. That's in the back of your mind, and the rest of you may notice that he's a little bit quieter as he's traveling than he normally is. He seems almost contemplative. All right. So you get to the next one, and once again, this cave opening is at about the exact same level as the others. We'll get a climb check by Arthur.
Hard success.
Hard success. All right. So you once again mountain goat your way up the cliff face, tie off a rope. And at the top, just a few feet into the cave, you find a dead body, a human dead body.
Oh, okay. I'll do first aid.
So do. First of all, you're not quite accustomed to seeing dead bodies, so you will take 1 point of sanity loss.
Okay. Where is that?
Up at the top under characteristics on the right hand.
Yeah. It's supposed to also calculate how much you can lose that floor before you start having bouts of madness. But
Oh, I see. It's not quite grabbing it.
Yeah, for some reason it's not.
What is it? Is it 10% or is it?
I think floor is a macro thing that rounds down. That's what that would mean, right?
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you knew what it would be. Not
It's
the
1/5
macro.
is where you're indefinitely insane. If you lose 1/5 of your insanity, then if you lose 5 points at once, that's where you have a temporary bout of madness.
Yeah. All right. So you're immediately taken aback and
Jumping Jehoshaphat.
This is a fairly fresh corpse as well. We'll leave it to you to.
I mean, is there any evident, like just from looking at it, how he died?
Violently, and it looks like he has been dragged to this point.
Okay.
I mean, you can tell that he's been dragged, and pieces of him are missing, as if something had been chewing on him.
All right, probably a wildcat. I'll shout over the edge to these guys. Got a dead body up here. Hurry up, and I'll pull out my 357 Magnum.
Is it one of our helpers?
No.
Roll your survival skill.
I don't have an alibi.
Extreme success.
All right, so extreme success. Yeah, you kind of circle around the body, and you notice that there aren't any animal tracks around it. You don't you can see the drag marks, but they're coming from inside the cave, as if something was dragging it out of the cave.
Okay.
And you don't see any animal footprints. The drag marks have almost like a weird pattern, like almost like a how dogs or cats have separated pads.
Yeah.
It's almost like that, except they're farther apart from each other.
Okay.
I yelp, is it a Hopi Indian?
Just hurry up.
What is it?
Let's see
So we
here.
climb up there?
Here, I'll toss him down so you can look at him.
Actually, Arthur, the idea pops in your head that the doctor may have more information on.
Yeah. We're going to need the doctor.
Well, this is the last cave we'll be able to look at today, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, perhaps we should look around a little bit, and then we can carry the corpse back to the good doctor. I'm not certain he'll have the constitution to make it up here, right?
What
Well,
type?
he'll have to because we're not carrying a corpse down a
What
rope.
kind of
We can use the
condition
Sterling method to get him back.
What kind of condition is
is the corpse in? Because it's been like,
It's fairly fresh, but
Okay.
it was within about a week. So yeah, it is starting to show signs of
Arizona heat, or
Yeah.
of like that area.
it has a little bit of the bloat that a body settles into and being left out in the open.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be good.
It's dried out a little bit.
Yeah, we're not carrying.
but-
Although
yeah,
perhaps,
they-
yes, it won't survive the journey.
It does have, it is a bit, a little bit squishy.
The Larkin expedition, I exclaim,
Ah.
as I remember. And then I'm quiet again.
So yeah, the rest of you don't understand, but yeah, he just suddenly pops off with Larkin, the Larkin expedition.
So does the corpse have clothing? And
It does have some shreds of clothing left on it.
and can we tell what is it? An Indian or?
So most of what made it identifiable has been shredded. You can tell that it does have kind of modern clothes for the 1920s. Like it appears to have some sort of like bits of flannel on it and a little bit of like blue jean material as well left on it.
Joe, one of us.
But something dragged it out of that cave,
Yes.
So something's in that cave.
or was in that cave.
So
Give me the electric torch.
Do you think
pass
that's
them
wise going into a cave?
No, it isn't. But I'll approach, with the flashlight pointed in and my revolver in my other hand.
Just give a general warning.
Yeah, and you do have your Magnum revolver that you have used to either scare off or kill animals that have harassed you before.
I warn you, I'm known as a straight shooter. Whoever's in there.
I love you, Brandon.
You've been going to therapy to be more social, so you wrote yourself a bio that you plug in every.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, this, like the other caves, though, is surprisingly straight.
Well, I'm not surprised. This would be the third such cave we've seen.
Any of the rest of you have a weapon on you?
I couldn't imagine what for.
Mr. Sterling?
I'm gonna look around for some kind of branch.
Well,
I'll have you know that early man fought off hordes of all sorts of rampaging critters with just a pointy stick and some rocks. good
perhaps
sir.
you could pick up a hefty rock.
All right.
I'll pick up a rock.
Now, you
just to
guys all
flank
go
it.
ahead. I'll be right behind you.
Should we stay out of your field of fire, though?
It's called Overwatch.
I'm not.
All right. So yeah,
Spot hidden.
So I'm carrying a rock that's
Any
too heavy for me to
branches? Oh, I
swing.
failed.
Bowling ball.
but yeah. Once you all get up there, do you want to do anything with the body, or just leave it how it is and bring the others up?
Yeah, I don't want to move it because they pop.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So yeah, the rest of you will also take 1 point of sanity loss.
For the body.
Yeah, for the body.
I just introduced.
Just the state that it's in.
Man, that's always how it goes in Call of Cthulhu. I found something that's making me feel wacky. Come over, check it out.
Yeah.
you educated fellas are queasy at the sight, aren't you? I wasn't bothered a bit.
Mildly, yes. No shame in admitting it.
I'm just kidding. I was also disturbed by the sight. All right. Yeah, we'll leave that body alone and we'll see if I can shine the light into the cave and see anything dangerous.
Just start blasting.
So spot hidden checks by everyone there.
Oh, I succeeded.
Fail.
But not a critical failure.
Ooh.
All right.
Nice.
So Arthur, you're looking down, like you're shining your torch down down the cavern, and it does go down quite a ways. Like your torch doesn't hit the end. Once again, like the last cave you found, the walls are carved here. There aren't any statues, but it does look like this had once been worked. And where the walls meet the ground, you see something scurry away from your light. Like you don't get a really good glimpse of it, but it looked to be about the size of a very large dog.
Okay.
And I mean a very large dog. Like you remember how big Griffin was? Like a little bit bigger than him, like a Saint Bernard sized dog. And it just almost like a lizard fleeing. It shoots back into the darkness.
Oh, you guys see that?
And Sterling, yes, you did see it. And you're going to need to roll a 1d4 for sand loss on this. Because what you saw doesn't make sense to your brain.
How do I roll 1d4?
Backslash
Yeah.
R1d4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slash
There's also-
R space 1d4.
Yeah, over on the left-hand side, there's
dice
also a
symbol,
die
yeah.
down at the bottom that you can open up and then just click on the...
Or sorry, / then.
Space between R and 1d4.
Back or forward? I can't remember. Forward.
There you go.
All right, so yeah, you'll lose 2 just for the short glimpse that you'll lose 2 sanity just for the short glimpse that you saw of it, because it looked almost as if the lower half of it had 3 limbs, with 2 of them being vaguely human shaped that split where the ankle would be into 4 small appendages, whereas the third one looked almost like a lizard's tail that also split at its end into 4 different pieces with pads on it. And you didn't happen to catch the top half of it, but it looked as if it was colored to fit in with the stone. But yeah, it just goes shooting back into the darkness.
I grab my head.
With a speed that...
We'll all be. I've never seen this creature. The legs. And the ankles.
So yeah, you're a scientist, and you know, even though it shook you, there's something in your mind that is trying to rationalize what it was. You're like, this must be some sort of aberrant lizard of some sort, some offshoot of like a Gila monster or something that has been hiding in these caves.
Do we dare go further into this cave, gentlemen?
It looked like a very, very big dog.
It looked like a lizard.
Set my big rock down on it seems to be afraid of us, so I don't know what we should fear.
Maybe it is a chupacabra. Well, yeah, it did run away, so I'll start inching forward, see if I can see where it went.
Yeah. As you move deeper into the cave, it does go back about another 100 yards or so. Once again, with the worked stone walls on the sides, with hints of erosion from wind. And now you guys, as you get deeper, you see a few more of those archaic symbols that are kind of carved almost in like outlined areas, is almost as if it's a sign of some sort, like a
stop sign. Basically, it has a glyph inside a shape or something.
It's like almost like the shape of like a rupee, and
yeah.
So yeah, it has the kind of pointed top and bottom, and then flat on the sides, and yeah, there's a vertical grouping of those symbols.
Do they match any of the ones that I recorded from the other cave?
One of them does, like the top one does.
Which statue did that bear a relation to?
That one was behind the last one where she was laying down.
Okay.
But yeah, as you go deeper and deeper, you still don't see this thing, but you start hearing the sound of dripping water, almost like they're ahead of you. There should be some stalactites or something like that. So you're kind of expecting to come across something like that. And as you move forward, that sound gets louder and louder, and you start hearing more and more of those dripping sounds until you come to what looks almost like a carved stone door that has a hole about the size of a basketball that's been broken out of it. And yeah, it seems almost like a dead end other than that.
What's the chance the big boulder I picked up as my weapon is the key to this door? Critical luck roll.
Roll persuasion.
That would be quite the persuade.
Don't worry.
I'll charm the door.
Yeah, I've seen John fast talk his way out of harder situations than
That's
this.
true. But yeah, it almost looks like a double door, a swinging double door that you would see at any kind of palace, except it's made out of pure stone, almost as if it had been carved into that shape in the mountain.
Got a door there, huh? Open her up.
And so it's like a dead end, so the dog went through the door?
Yeah, whatever this thing was, it apparently, even though it seemed like there was no way it could fit through the hole in the door that's about the size of a basketball. That's the only explanation for where it went.
I'm pretty small.
Wait, can we push on the door? Pull on the door?
Yeah. You push on it, you pull on it, but it doesn't seem to move at all.
And if we look in the hole?
Yeah, you can see that the cavern goes well past it.
See a guy fit himself through a tennis rack on the Guinness World Book of Records show. I think you can do it.
Basketball size.
Yeah.
Kind of like going at the hips, the shoulders.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of look at it and you figure you might be able to get your shoulders through. Your hips would be a question.
Yes, I have an academic's girlish hips.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a shot. Perhaps if I could have the light, Arthur,
Yeah.
I might crawl through there.
What would that be? That'd be,
So yeah,
It seems foolish, Higgins.
Why?
Well, how else are we going to get through there?
Do you think I could follow you?
Well, no, but I might be able to see something once I'm on the other side to get the door open.
Okay, fair enough. Take the pistol.
I'm afraid it would be wasted in my hands.
maybe a size roll with it inversed, so the bigger you are, the harder it is.
that could work. Yeah.
So fail a size roll.
Yeah, essentially.
Well, let's see. What other skills could you possibly?
Yeah, Dex could work for contorting oneself.
Yeah.
I certainly can't fit.
I don't know if there's...
So yeah, we'll say that anyone with a size rating higher than 50 would automatically be too big to fit through.
Okay.
Anyone under that will need to make a dex check in order to be able to wiggle their way through.
Yeah, I might be able to fit through too.
Yeah, I have a size 40.
Same.
We're all on the 1920s diet.
I think Harold was the only one that was considered like a larger, beefy type person. But yeah, that's where it stands. And shining the light through that hole, you can see that the door is really pretty thick. It's a good solid 10 feet of stone until you see darkness beyond.
Well, let me go first. So I got
right.
the pistol.
I'll hand the electric torch back to you.
I think you let them go first, and if anything starts attacking them, you just...
Yeah, you have a backup academic if you lose one, but...
Yeah.
That's always the scary thing. You don't want two people. I thought about killing John's character, and that one was Stanton just because he could navigate.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, Arthur's going first.
So,
I'll
yeah.
give you a boost up if it's sort of awkward to crawl in on your own.
Yeah. So yeah, this chunk appears to have, deteriorated and broken through, or something has broken it out. There is some rubble down in front of this hole, but it's right in the middle of the door,
Right.
about 3 feet up.
Yeah, so is that hole smooth?
No,
Okay.
It's pretty rough.
So if we-
you can tell that it's been broken.
If we had some tools, we might be able to chisel more out of it.
Yeah, with some time you could probably open it up.
Yeah, well, that'd probably be the smarter way to do it. Unless, do I think I could fit through it?
Yeah, you could. You think it would be tight, and
They might have to push.
yeah, you might struggle to get in there, and once you do, you might struggle to get back. But
Okay.
you're not unaccustomed to spelunking, and there have been times where you've kind of worked your way through tight caverns before.
All right, let me give it a shot. What do you want me to roll?
Roll your dex.
What would it be? Maybe survival, like his spelunking type knowledge, potentially.
He succeeds.
Nice.
Yeah, that would have been a backup for him in this case. But yeah, you begin to wiggle your way through, and as you work your way through there, the sound of dripping water begins to get louder and louder.
Okay.
So yeah, once you get to the other side, you kind of start peering your light around to see what it looks like on the other side. So roll a spot hidden.
All right.
Nice.
Success.
All right. So yeah, you're looking around, and on the other side of this door, you see more of those statues, but they're in better condition.
Okay.
But as you're moving your light across some of those, you suddenly see 2 of those things scurry off into the darkness. Once again, you don't quite get a good look at them, but yeah, these things, and it looks like they're running along the walls.
Oh, okay. Ah! All right, there's 2 of them in here.
Oh, my face, my face.
They ran away.
Do you think we can follow you?
Yeah. And there's some more statues over here, too, for you guys to look at. I'm going to push them over and see if they break.
Pick them up and throw them.
All right. I try
Yeah,
to
come on through.
Follow through.
So yeah, you can manage to wiggle your way out and drop down to the other side.
Nice.
So Sterling, yeah, he's persistent. He sees
Squirrel my way through.
understanding and knowledge on the other side. So yeah, he forcefully wiggles his way through and drops in on the other side.
Like a fish swimming upstream.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I kind of imagine it like that scene in Ace Ventura when he comes out of the rhino.
Yeah, except reverse.
Yeah. All right.
All right. For Higgins.
Yep. Higgins, did you want to?
My dex is, I think, the lowest here, but
Nice.
Higgins just kind of
Jumps through.
yeah. He just slides through like he's greased up or something like that, and jumps through on the other side.
Marvelous. My short stint with traveling gypsy carnival actors paid off.
And now that 3 of you are in there, it opens up. You can see that it opens up on the other side into a well kind of manicured cave entrance. And as you look farther down, you see more and more of those statues just kind of line in the way, repeating the pattern, standing, kneeling, cross-legged, laying down.
well, I imagine that will take me a fair bit of time, as I'll want to look at each one and the associated glyphs.
Yep. Roll your occult knowledge.
Fail. I'll push it, though.
Push it.
Or you
Or
can,
just spend the one.
yeah, you can spend the 1.
But it's bad
Oh, yeah, I
luck. Let's
forgot
be
about that.
honest. It's
What
bad.
is my luck? 56? Yeah, I'll spend one.
All right. So yeah, you have something itching at the back of your mind. It was something that your nanny had been telling you about, how long time ago there was a group of people that had been trying to save a small child that had gotten sick. It is a type of sickness that the cancer that has no cure. And she said these people went to a group of strange religious fanatics that had supposed healing powers, but there was always a price to it. And one of the things that sparks your memory is that they had statues of a very attractive woman that they'd worship, and you don't know why, but these statues kind of pique your interest on that.
Yeah, I'll be just muttering to myself as I look at them.
Okay.
And the cave runs straight still, in the same direction.
The cave continues to run straight,
but we've made it past where the other cave-ins were, so we're further along.
Yep. Yeah. As you're continuing your investigation, you hear things down the tunnel.
I'm gonna look around by the door and see if there's any way to open it from this side.
Yeah. Nothing that you can see directly.
It's 10 feet thick.
You can do a spot hidden if you want. Actually, everyone can do a spot hidden, and we'll
fail.
So William succeeded. Arthur, you succeeded.
Somehow I did it twice.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, Arthur, these things don't seem to like the light, but every once in a while you'll catch a flash of movement at the far end of your torch.
Okay. Glint of eyes, perhaps?
Yeah.
No. And that's actually something that's a little unsettling to you, is you're not seeing the glint of eyes that you would normally see in creatures. But William, you're kind of investigating, looking over things, when you notice on the wall there is a piece that looks like it had been broken out. And on this side of the walls, you also notice that there are weird dimple patterns all over the walls. So outside of this area, the walls were pretty smooth. They'd been kind of windblown. Inside, they still have a bit of that windblown characteristic to them, but yeah, there are little dimples all over the walls. And at a place where it looked like some of these dimples had kind of congregated, like there were more of them here than anywhere else, there's a piece of the stone wall that looks like it had kind of stuck out a little bit, that's broken off. And when you look at the stone on the ground, you notice a much smaller form of writing, but it appears as if there are multiple languages on it.
Okay.
And one of them you actually recognize as Egyptian.
Great. So I pick that up, and it fits back where it fell off?
Yep.
I kind of hold it up there, try to push it into place, and try to translate it.
Okay. Roll your Egyptian.
My Egyptian's on point. I'll never fail. 52 is what I have.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, you got a 37. All right. So that's a basic success. So yeah, you know that you need a little bit more reference material for some of the hieroglyphics, but yeah, the ones that kind of speak out to you reference health. They reference the gods, and they reference eternity.
So I go to Higgins and show him our book, like all our notes we've made, and we start comparing these glyphs.
Yeah, and when he shows you it, Higgins, you immediately recognize that one of them is very similar in structure to the Aklo you've gotten a little glimpse of.
Yeah, I'll divulge some of the more occult information that I have, that this figure that we see in the statues bears a resemblance to stories I heard from, I suppose they would have their origin in the southeastern United States, Louisiana, thereabouts. But same thing, health and healing, very similar.
And okay.
Perhaps a later version of what we're seeing here. I was thinking at first that when you were going to put something up, you were going to hide the fact that there was Egyptian glyphs here, just so Kincaid wasn't right.
And Kincaid is actually on the other side of the door.
That's what I was thinking. He'd have no idea.
Yeah, he's not in here, but yeah, every once in a while he shouts through. All right, what? Did you find anything? Is anybody there?
Just a second, Kincaid. We're looking at it now. But in any case, this bears a resemblance to a language purported, very little proof, mind you, called Aklo, and take it for what you will.
So yeah, roll your archaeology.
There are expeditions going on now in the South America for this very similar language. Extreme.
An extreme. So yeah, you've heard of this, and you know it's associated with a theory, kind of that he'd been suggesting to you that all civilizations had actually started out on Pangea, and that as the continents separated, there was some sort of cataclysm that kind of threw the people.
Yes, a lost continent, and in fact, would be about the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
The origin
in your
of the
mind, you had
species.
always thought that it was a ridiculous notion along the lines of, the discredited ideas of Atlantis or other things along that nature.
Finding Egyptian here may rewrite all of history, Higgins. All of history.
Yes, I think so. And I'll clasp both his hands in mine, and we'll jump up and down like schoolgirls.
Now, Arthur, bring the light. Bring the revolver. Yeah. We've got to get back and share this with Kincaid and the good doctor.
Only us can know about this. Good job, Arthur. No survivors.
Or should we are here. Before we climb back through the door, should we go to the end of the passage?
I would vote
those
yes.
things are down there. I keep seeing them on the edge of the light.
What are they?
I don't know. You saw it better than I.
Well,
Lizards.
simple biology would say that they're... What are they eating down here?
They
It
ran
certainly isn't
alongside
flesh,
the wall when I came in.
lichen, mushrooms.
Actually, as you get close to the wall, you notice that those dimples on the wall resemble the footprints of whatever dragged the human
This
body
looks just
out.
like the prints for whatever dragged that body outside.
So we know someone else was in this cave.
Well, and they got dragged out dead, but I don't know if they made it this far. I don't know if they squeezed through this hole.
Roll your natural world real quick.
Fail.
Ooh.
I don't know anything about the natural world.
Let's see. How about you two also roll your natural world on the...
That is my natural world. 10. Fail.
Okay. And Sterling.
An extreme.
Extreme success.
Nice.
So yeah, while he's talking about these things moving around out there, something just strikes you out of nowhere. Not like physically strikes you, but an idea suddenly enters your mind that you keep hearing these sounds of dripping water, but the air is incredibly dry, like way too dry if there is dripping water somewhere in this cavern. But you can't get past the idea that, like, you can clearly hear dripping water.
We can hear the dripping water, but the air's dry. The cavern's not musky or damp.
And
they're
when he
running
mentions
on the walls.
it's kind of like that moment in a movie where everyone suddenly realizes that all sound has stopped around them, even though they're in like a forest. And yeah, there's something just unsettling and unnerving about the fact that you can hear water, but there is no feeling of it in the air. The air is dry.
I'm not sure what skill, like I, as a player, have a theory of what we're hearing, like a echolocation type detection, but I'll put that in the back pocket because I don't know if I have a skill that would. I'm not sure what animal
Education,
actually
maybe?
makes a sound, like whales would,
Bats.
bats, but I don't know if they use, I think whales have a kind of a ping sound that they listen to, right? Or some whales.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if bats if they do the same type of ping. Do they? Or they just, who knows? But so maybe biology.
Yeah.
But I don't have the. I'd have a
Education.
1%.
You could try an education.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be we'll try hard, and you got it. So yeah, you connect the two.
It just happened. Yeah. So I'll announce without preamble, echolocation. That's what we've been hearing.
So these creatures are making that noise?
Yes, that's how they see.
And yeah, thinking back to the other caves you've been in now, you could hear them on the other side of the cave-ins.
Congratulations.
Change that coined by James Higgins, 1919. I just never made it out. That's why.
Yep. Just always add like a sort of echolocation.
I'm thinking of it because there's no term for it. Echo location.
Let's just take a quick look, and then we'll have to head back. So we want to leave here in enough time to get back to camp before it's dark. Don't want to be climbing these canyons after dark.
But we can't hear the echolocation right now. It's all gone quiet.
No, there is actually a lot of that sound. Like it almost seems as if minute by minute there's more of that sound building down the cavern path.
Yeah, I don't know what you fellas are talking about with sound.
Well, I think, why don't you fire that pistol of yours and we'll see if it echoes and kind of see if this echolocation changes after such a loud noise.
Do you not know what the rules of gun safety are?
Do you in 1920?
Yeah, no, but I do know, like, it's not smart to shoot a gun inside of a enclosed space like this.
Yeah. I just might turn off the oven.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me flash that light around and see if I can catch sight of any of them.
So yeah, you catch little glimmers of it, little flashes of, a scale leg. No, just leave it off. Scaled leg here, or a little flash of something there. Their coloring does match the rock surprisingly well.
Okay.
But yeah, more and more, you not only see them scurrying on the walls, but you'll catch a glimpse of one on the ceiling as well. And
let's get out of here.
Could he compare this to like any natural world, like pack hunters, perhaps, or?
Well, yeah. Roll your natural world real quick. Roll your survival.
Oh right, yeah, I get to do that. I was almost. Yeah, no.
So, yeah, you've never seen.
I'm in over my head.
Yeah, you're a bit freaked out by these things because they're some sort of species that you've never seen before, and their behavior is almost too intelligent.
Yeah,
it's something that really unnerves you, and so you're not thinking clearly.
Well, we definitely need to get out of here right now.
Yeah, but why don't I go first back through this?
Yes, hurry up, get moving.
All right, so another dex roll.
Yeah.
With advantage if they're helping. He made it.
No, his fear to get out of there has
Drove
shoved him
forward.
along. Yep.
Come along, Higgins.
Uh-oh. It's a little different from this angle. I appear to be unable to progress any further.
My shapely, effeminate hips have stuck fast.
Blast that I sat in a chair at a desk for so long, it's spread my pelvis a bit.
So do a sanity roll here.
Okay. Success.
So yeah, you're
Calm
scared,
under
but
pressure.
yeah, you're holding yourself together. Like this being trapped like this is uncomfortable for you.
Should I push it?
So yeah,
less
we'll
than
do
50%
one more dex roll.
Okay.
Get some
can
help.
we give him some help, like push him or pull him.
He's at a point where
He's like
Perfectly away from
William might be able to like get a hold of his hand and pull.
All right.
But yeah,
Another dex roll, you say?
Yep.
Got it.
nice.
All right.
On.
So yeah, Williams is pulling, and yeah, you tear your clothes a little bit as you're getting at it around your hip. So like your pocket grabs on something and kind of tears a little bit, but yeah, you manage to fight your way free.
My father's pocket watch.
And so Arthur, as they're leaving,
we're on the other side.
these things, like the sounds, seem a little bit closer, and you're seeing a few more scurryings as they realize that you're alone here.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm going to scurry through then, quick
right.
as I can.
Yeah. In terror, you
Let me out.
Wings of
you,
fear.
you go flying through there like it was a hallway made for you to walk down.
Yeah.
You were earthworm wild shaped is what you did.
Yeah.
But as you entered that tunnel, you felt something on your foot, which really, really caused you to just force your way through there. But yeah, it felt like something kind of tugged on your boot as your foot was coming back in.
I don't like it.
Check the soles, man.
Yeah.
See if you got marks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look at my boot.
Yeah, and you can see where something had kind of grabbed onto it, almost as if it had tons of tiny little barbs. That had just kind of scraped the leather.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's put your rock into this hole and any other rocks we can find. Try to stop them from following us.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pick up my too big to be used as a weapon rock and try to fit it in there.
Yeah, and you can hear the sounds of dripping water on the other side, just echoing through that tunnel as you guys are sealing it in.
Kincaid, grab a rock too.
He says, "What? Why? You look like you've seen something. What did you see? What's going on?"
There's
dangerous
creatures
in there.
They're strange.
What?
Nothing has ever been seen like them before. They killed that man outside, and I think they want to kill us.
They almost got me. I'll show them my boot.
Well, what did we do? What did you find in there?
The writings. You were right. The Egyptians were here.
And all fear is gone from him. You know, as soon as you say that, and he's shouting to the ceiling, "I was right. They can't deny me now. I was right. I will prove it."
My drawings would never be proof to the Smithsonian.
Yeah, we're going to...
But you
have to come back.
Brought the rock with you, right? Like you pushed that broken piece through? No?
I held it up to the wall, and then I set it back down.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of have to drag him away. Like Higgins and Arthur are like forcefully trying to jam these rocks in there. While Kincaid is like just saying
Some little lizards aren't going to keep me from this.
Yeah, we can't let this stop us. Just some creatures we can't let that stop it. We'll come back with guns, and we'll come back prepared next time. We will be ready for this.
Yeah, we'll need more firepower.
Yeah, we'll come back tomorrow.
But yeah, we cannot let this stop us.
Let's go get this corpse back to the doctor. See if we can learn anything else.
So like Arthur had mentioned, the corpse is at a point where if you mess with it too much, it might just pop on you.
You just leave it.
Yeah, you can kind of see that the joints have deteriorated enough to where, it's not...
It's going to come off like soft cheese in your hands.
Yeah, although after seeing the marks on your boots, you do see some similar marks on some of the pieces of flesh that are still there.
They didn't eat it?
There are pieces that are missing.
There were pieces missing. But
one can only assume the worst.
Yeah. So we're going.
If they're not eating flesh down there, what are they eating, Arthur?
Once you get back to camp, we're gonna have to leave it off there for the night.
I've never seen nothing like those before.
Well, I guess what I was doing while they were doing that is I was tending to my feet, which are blistered. Yeah, so I'm basically
blistered and sore.
Yeah, sitting by a fire. Maybe I have some sort of container with water that I'm soaking them in and just smoking.
Oh yeah, and once you get there, Harold is back with the other two, and they report very similar things. So he kind of sketches out the way that those other ones had gone.
You boys hear the hogwash that these people are trying to sell. They found some sort of lizard.
No, they didn't find any lizards, but they found
temple entrances.
Yeah, more of these temple entrances. Okay. One of which, the far southern one, actually goes through the plateau, And that one has been almost completely carved out by the wind, but it goes all the way through the plateau. And on the far side of the wall, he mentions that there is another entrance there on the far side that when you mention the door, he mentions that that they could see across the chasm there, the Grand Canyon. They could see similar things inside the cave from where they were, but the door was slightly ajar, almost as if it had pulled apart into the walls slightly.
Huh. And you could get through?
He said that we would need climbing gear in order to get across there, but that it is a possibility. But yeah, then the other one, like the two first ones you'd found, goes a little ways and then hits a cave in.
Well, I'll grab the Maxim gun from the boat. We'll take that.
All right. Well,
no matter what lizards there might be in there, we have to remember that we have the Maxim gun and they have not.
Yes.
Right.
But yeah, you know that Harold actually has a fairly decent arsenal with him. He's got his hunting gear with him, which he always has. He has his shotgun. He has his rifles. So
okay.
Thankfully, we have two humans to help pull this Maxim around.
No.
Does anyone have any experience setting traps?
Survival might cover that.
Jacobson, he's the hunter, so yeah, he would have some ability with that. But
with that tiny hole, I think you could set a trap with the shotgun.
Yeah, so
and if one comes out.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So yeah, that's where we're gonna have to leave it off for the day.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah, man.
It is 1 o'clock.
Had fun.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to finish this up.
Yeah.
Glad I finally got to be on the player side for Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to for a while.
All right. So yeah, we'll leave it off there.
Nice.
This has been a Deathwatch production. Thank you for listening.